guys, Kyle the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for One Piece episode 821. And right off the bat, I gotta say, if you came up to me and asked me how I thought about this episode, I'd say it was simple but enjoyable. I mean, don't get me wrong, the majority of One Piece episodes nowadays, the majority, when it comes to the majority of One Piece episodes nowadays, their main flaw is basically in the pacing, and there was definitely that there. But I think there was definitely pacing issues here, but because there was all this stuff happening, there was always something happening in each new scene that came up. It almost felt like it was creating the illusion of good pacing. Because honestly, unlike most episodes nowadays, where it feels like it is dragging its feet, this episode just kind of zoomed by without me even realizing it. Like, oh, it's over. So yeah, it is kind of one of those weird episodes where when you watch it, you're gonna obviously see that there is slow pacing for sure, but at the same time, it's almost gonna feel like the episode just zoomed by without you even realizing it. So yeah, it was overall, I'd say it was a pretty enjoyable episode this week. Now, the episode begins off with the reveal that Pedro escaped the blast by getting pulled into the mirror world. And normally I'm not a big fan of the recap events, but in this case, it was just plain hilarious for just the single purpose of seeing Pedro's what the fuck reaction to Chopper and Carrot in the mirror. Like when he was when we went through that whole little recap of basically how Pedro escaped the blast, which, by the way, again, it was very clever. It was very clever storytelling of basically how of how of basically how of basically how of pretty much how we see Pedro escape, because again, like, I kind of had a feeling Pedro wasn't gonna go out that easily, but we were kind of saying, okay, what happened to him? And yeah, we see what happened to him, and yeah, it was just, and it's good to, and yeah, it's good to see Pedro escape through basically the mirror wall. Also, Carrot. Can I just say, Carrot's portraits of the Straw Hats were equally hilarious in this episode, because I can't tell if, like, that's the way Carrot draws. I can't tell if it's better or worse than any kind of bunny drawing that Rukia drew in Bleach. But like, both moments in this episode of basically Pedro's what the fuck face and then escaping, and then Carrot's drawings of the drawings or portraits of the Straw Hats. Those two moments for me are definitely going in my top 10 hilarious One Piece moments. Like, those scenes just had me rolling on the floor and laughing my ass off. Now, believe it or not, my favorite thing about this episode was actually seeing Luffy struggle and get beat down. Yeah, I know it's weird to say that. It's weird to say it when you actually enjoy seeing a character get his ass kicked, but I actually did enjoy just seeing Luffy struggle and get beat down, because it shows once again how tired and hungry he is. He is when pushing forward, and how important Sanji is, and how impactful both their reunion will be. Of course, I'm sure part of the reunion Luffy's gonna be stuffing his face, but yeah. But another thing I think it signifies is which which is a bit more of a lot more obvious thing, which is that everyone in Big Mom's crew is fucking strong. Because normally, like, okay, in the past, in a lot of these situations where we've seen Luffy basically just kind of fighting through, just mobs of characters and whatnot. He struggles, but at the same time, he kind of dusts them off fairly easily, and that has been for the most part a pretty common thread in One Piece, that every time Luffy goes out on his own and he ends up fighting these hordes of guys, he always dusts them off without a clue. Which is why we basically claim them as fodder characters. But in this case, uh, he's actually struggling, and although it is because he's hungry, it does shed some light that the Yonko are a threat for a reason, which is their crews are just as powerful as they are. And I think I think Luffy is seriously underestimating. I, I think if I think Luffy is underestimating Big Mom. If anywhere in his brain he's thinking he'll be able to beat her after Sanji comes back. Yeah, I don't. I really can't see even after if Luffy's having this much trouble now. I think he still and may end up having trouble pretty much even taking on Big Mom's crew herself, which in a way also plays back to basically plays back to the pretty much the fight he had with it was Commander Cracker. Like that fight already signified that okay, yeah, even the underlings of Big Mom's crew, it was a taste of showing us that yes, the underlings of Big Mom's crew are just as strong as she is, and that was a continuing trend here. And yeah, I'm not even though there's reason for why Luffy's struggling, I still don't think he's going to be able to beat Big Mom even after he manages to get a hold of even after he managed to get a hold of some stuff, and after he managed to eat and whatnot. Like, yeah, I think Luffy is going to have a bit of an issue here. So he needs. I almost want to say he needs another. He almost need. Oh, he almost needs to rely on. I wonder where Beige is because. I wonder where Beige is lurking around because honestly, that's kind of the thing I'm thinking of. He needs to kind of form a bit of an alliance with Beige right now. Otherwise, yeah, he's. I think Luffy's screwed if he doesn't find more help than just from his crew or the crew members that are here. um, Also, one thing I do got to give props to just the story in general is how Chopper and Carrot were using the mirror world in this episode. I mean, I know it's been built up as their way of getting off the island, but it's really nice to finally see the mirror world being put in use and being used and put into action. And like before, it was kind of one of those things where it just kind of seemed like a plot thread that was just taking forever in order to be set up. But now that we finally have it set up, we can definitely move forward and say, hey, this we're going to be spending a lot more time with in the mirror world now. But this time it isn't going to be just a waste of time. It's actually gonna have a purpose now. Granted, I don't know if Toei Animation is gonna use that as another excuse to extend, but we'll have to see. Um, and in the end, and in the end of the episode, and when the episode ends, we see Luffy walking to meet with Sanji. While Sanji himself is debating what to do, and I won't say anything, but let's just say that everything is gonna be everything that Sanji decides from this point on, what Sanji decides in the end to do is gonna be decided in the most unlikely way. For anime only watchers, it might actually surprise you the resolution that comes to in the end of meeting with Luffy, and just pretty much everything else is gonna decide after that. But yeah, so yeah, overall, I'd say this was actually a pretty enjoyable episode. Again, it did have its usual pacing problems, but for some reason it didn't really seem like that almost. But yeah, guys, just watch it for yourself and just watch it and decide for yourself what you thought of the episode. But if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Me on Twitter and Facebook. Death Night of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.